Well, as Forrest Gump once said, stupid is as stupid does.
America, fuck yeah! Coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah!
It has been 9 days since the invasion of Ukraine by the Russian Federation, and there shows no sign of stopping. While there has been occasional stops, that has been mainly due to trying to resupply. Though to be fair, the Russians have been taking a lot of casualties, despite the fact that they have been progressing. Even at this very point, as I'm talking, there is a 40-mile convoy that's trying to head to Russian forces outside of Kiev in order to surround the city, lay it to siege, and force the national government under Vladimir Zelensky to surrender and under the Russians' terms. That remains to be seen with the events unfolding because, again, with some Ukrainian resistance, although I would not be surprised if Ukraine falls. Nonetheless, in response to this, the Biden administration has been implementing sanctions on major VIPs from Vladimir Putin to even major companies such as, say, Nord Stream. I'm pretty sure this has been brought up many times before, even during the time of the Trump administration, which, by the way, Donald Trump was one who actually imposed many of these original sanctions, again, such as the Nord Stream sanction, in the hopes of trying to strangle the Russians and to prevent them from moving. Of course, there was also the added issue that Donald Trump was willing to use force if necessary. Taking the case of what happened with Syria, where he decided to launch missile strikes at certain targets. In fact, Razor Fist, which I will be uploading in the description down below, actually talks about this. And whether you like that, like what Donald Trump did or not, it still sent a message that he was willing to use force if necessary. Nonetheless, for some reason or another, the Biden presidency decided to revoke many of these sanctions until Russia actually decided to go into Ukraine. Thinking that, but then once Ukraine was invaded, he decided to bring up many of those sanctions back from the Trump administration. This in turn has actually hurt us in the long run because we have, it has definitely hurt us because we have been gained a lot of our oil from the Russians, especially with the fact that Joe Biden has been strangling, preventing any drilling going on in the United States. Now, I know there has been some developments such as allowing some companies to continue drilling on federal land, thanks to the permits they actually got during, I believe, the Trump administration. And in fact, the Supreme Court actually made a ruling about this, but nonetheless, it still hampered the U.S. and its energy independence. Now we have been since the very beginning of the Biden presidency dependent on outside sources outside of our own country for oil, and Russia is no exception. In fact, I'm pretty sure everyone will remember how Joe Biden had to basically beg OPEC to lower the price of oil, and they said no. Yeah, that goes to show that he is not capable of running this country, as well as taking on foreign nations when it comes to the economy. But considering what the sanctions have been doing, it has caused the price of oil to increase. Already, the price of 1 gallon, not 1 gallon, 1 barrel of oil is $120. $120. I would not be surprised that as this conflict continues on, it will continue to grow. As a matter of fact, what I have right here, let me try to pull it up on the okay, it's here. Gasprices.aaa.com, which I will also be uploading in the description below, currently shows our national average gas prices, and the current average for regular gas is $3.837. It's currently showing that with current today, according to the AAA's national average, it's actually been going up. Again, I will link this all in the description down below for you guys if you want to look at these for yourself. Now, Pete Buttigieg, the Secretary of Transportation, has actually been asked what kind of options are on the table in order to deal with this issue. Because as we already know, this has heavily affected the economy. The oil prices are affecting the economy. Inflation is affecting the economy. And after all of this, including topping it off with what's going on in Ukraine, he is asked a question, and I'm here going to quote Fox News. Here we go. If Biden would consider activating the Keystone XL pipeline or working something out with Iran during MSNBC's 11th hour on Wednesday. He specifically was asked if he was going to deal with any options, or what is he was asked specifically what is he going to do in order to help gas prices to lower. And this is what he said, quote, "Look, the president has said that all options are on the table, but we also need to make sure that we're not galloping after permanent solutions to immediately short-term problems, where more strategic and tactical actions in the short term could make a difference." Political commentators, personalities, politicians criticized Pete Buttigieg on Twitter for the comments. Critics call for American energy independence as the Russians continue to invade Ukraine. He said when Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg said Wednesday that all options are on the table during a discussion about oil prices after MSNBC's Stephanie Ruhle asked if President Biden would consider working something out with Iran. I cannot believe he actually just said this. Because last time I checked, Iran is a hostile country to the United States. And last time I checked, these people have been pretty vocal against the Islamic Republic of Iran over them developing a nuclear bomb. And yet they're saying all options are on the table, even the possibility of buying oil from Iran? These people have clearly not thought about geopolitics. And they clearly haven't looked at any other options. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if the part of the issue here is not only to continue to gain money as the war continues on, as gas prices continue to rise, but I would not be surprised if part of this is to appease the environmental crowd within the Democratic Party, which is, at this point, really ridiculous. Sticks, Hex, and Hammer actually made a point on this. How are you helping the environment if you're still using fossil fuels despite it being from a different source? That's actually a good question. I do not have an answer for that. And in all honesty, I would also not be surprised if this was meant as a means to still get into China's graces. After all, they're the ones who have been building a lot of solar panels using slave labor. So yeah, I would not be surprised about that. And Pete Buttigieg is 100% justifiably getting railed on this, because at this very point, a lot of people could consider this a major problem. So do I. I have to pay a lot of money in order to fill my gas tank of the truck that I currently run, and it goes up. It's just really, really high. And a lot of Americans, including myself, would prefer to save as much money as possible. And I'm pretty sure doing that with a hostile country such as the Islamic Republic of Iran is not the best way to do that. I would rather continue to drill on our own soil. At least that means that if every single country decides to close off any trade in terms of oil, in terms of coal, in terms of any other energy source, we would still be completely fine. Hell, this actually happened during the Jimmy Carter administration, and that led to long lines of at gasoline stations I saw a few pictures of that. Hell, why? In fact, I want to go even better, even bigger. I think we should try to subsidize the creation of nuclear power plants. We need more nuclear power plants. I know that there are going to be a lot of critics from the environmental left saying, "Oh no, they're going to be bad," or it's going to be something like Chernobyl or anything like that. The 3 Mile incident, which is every time when I hear that argument, it's really ridiculous, because that was then when we didn't really have too much of an understanding of nuclear power. And now we have already had new technologies being developed that can make sure that never happens again. Hell, in the case of Chernobyl, that was the fault of not only human error, but the fault of the communist system, which basically developed a lot of the issues with what happened at Chernobyl in the first place, such as the uranium lead tips that were supposed to shut down the nuclear power plant. Sorry, I kind of stutter. But nonetheless, I just really hate that argument. Besides, nuclear power happens to be friendly for the environment. As long as you can control it, it is completely fine. There is no emissions whatsoever. So yeah, I 100% think that not only do we need to continue to support drilling within our own soil, we need to go on to develop, to subsidize, or find a way to develop new nuclear power plants. I believe that way it would further make us more energy independent. Trump man should make us energy independent, not Joe Biden. Trump did that. But I think we should go a step further with trying to support nuclear energy once again. I really hope in the future we do come to that sense. My name is Noah Meehan on The Arc Truth. Please post your comments down below, like this video, subscribe, and share with your friends. Also, if you have any issues regarding this video, please post them down in the comment section down below, directly message me, or anything whatsoever. Thank you.
Almost